What's up? Um, this is my first time making a video. My name is Ashley. Um, I am gonna try not to say too much. Uh, I'm gonna talk about our president, Trump, and I'm gonna talk about 4th of July and why I'm not celebrating it. Um, God, I think I'm gonna say a lot. Okay. I need. Okay. So, God, I wish I wouldn't have said I wasn't gonna say a lot because now I feel like I'm gonna say a lot. All right. So these are my thoughts on our amazing president. Okay. Um. To get close to. A few weeks ago, um, I was kind of stand backish on calling Trump racist because I don't know him personally. Um, but don't get it twisted. Like, I acknowledge his stupidity and his ignorance to other ethnicities, and I acknowledge the fact that he is misguided and he doesn't seem as if he wants to learn about the other ethnicities and what they are going through. Yeah. Um, I wouldn't say that's spot on racist because, well, shit, I guess it is, though. I guess I answered my own fucking question. Um, because he may have a chance. He acknowledges what the fuck is going on in this world. Some white people really don't acknowledge it. Like, they are really, like, blind. Like, to the point that I'm like, something's wrong with you. Um, but let's say that he is acknowledging this shit and he's ignoring it. Then, yes, at this point, you are racist because you are continuing to oppress a certain ethnicity. Boom, just answer my own analogy. Okay, so I think his narrative is to feed a certain group, and it's not a lot of people who look like me. And who are these people that I'm talking about? I'm talking about patriots, which are people who love their country, love what it stands for, celebrates the good and bad. Boom. Which sounds great, uh, but not when it doesn't apply to you or your ancestors. Keep in mind, let me tell you that I am from Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana. So, miss me with the whole I'm not my ancestors bullshit. It runs deep. So, stop. Um, when it does not apply to you, not when it applies to you, yeah. Okay, and especially not when your ancestors were a huge part of the bad times building this place that they love, the Patriots. Not when your ancestors, or excuse me, not when you are constantly hearing go back to your country while knowing that your ancestors have done so much for this country and this is your country. Um, not when you go to a protest to use your rights, you know, as a human being, and you're called a lazy thug who wants to erase the American history. Meanwhile, we are trying to acknowledge the real history, own it, and build a new world for the future and our future children. Not willing to separate rioters and protesters, not willing to acknowledge the hate that is going on to one ethnicity from people who are constantly yelling Trump 2020 after their hate speech or hate crime. No, it's not great. It's not great when you feel confused as to why your president isn't giving love to a group that is wearing, or why your president is giving love to a group that is wearing hoodies, carrying tikis, and driving into people. Um, yeah. If you want to push to now, we can talk about now as well too. I don't see how you turn your eye on white supremacist or pro-right folks walking around rallying during a 30-day shutdown pandemic with no mask, wearing rifles and hitting reporters and harassing them. But you have a lot to say about the BLM group and their protesting. Meanwhile, that was after the fucking 30-day shutdown. Dipshit. Anyways, dipshits who fucking have something to say about that. Excuse me. When the American people need empathy and comfort from the man who is running our world, well, our country, we get nothing. And it's so weird, right? Which I understand, but I don't. But they're born Caucasians, luckily, with their ancestors, or from their ancestors. They are born with a certain entitlement. A white man can have a black man arrested, falsely accused, or killed, and get away with it. A black man who is an officer can shoot a white woman or man and get 10 to 25 years, if not life, while a white officer can kill a black man in front of their child and go home or get paid leave, or have the choice to resign. And does that not sound like bullshit yet? Okay, do you need more information? Do you need more facts? And might I add, their pension is still intact. That, my friend, is racism. You're feeding off of what your ancestors have made for you. Now, feeding off of a business that they gave to you, awesome. Now, feeding off of, stepping off of, or stepping on every other ethnicity and minority, not awesome. You dumb turd piece of shit. Alright. So, because still to this day, those rumors and stereotypes are still very much active, and they hold a weight on every African American that is living their life in America. Well, majority. Can't speak for the whitewashed and coons. They really live in another world. Oh my gosh. And I really feel bad for the ones who act like coons, but they still get treated like niggas, and then they go home crying. I probably shouldn't feel bad for you, but I do feel bad for you because you're so lost, and you're such a Samuel Jackson, Django movie looking motherfucker that you have no fight in you. You're just willing to act and just be a totally different person so you can get money and you can be wherever the fuck you want to be. You're a sellout. But whatever, fuck you. Okay. Those stereotypes and very active, blah, blah, blah. Whether we are walking in stores, walking past someone, walking outside, walking home, in our home, going to get a job, etc. The weight on us is real, for those who can't fucking process that. And for those who like to mention the good old, oh, there's black on black crime. What about black on black crime? Chicago. Bitch, there's white on white crime too. It's just not out there like that. There's Latin on Latin crime, whatever the fuck you want to call it. There's all types of crimes. And if you're so worried about mentioning black on black crime, why aren't you so comfortable mentioning the blue on black crime? And on top of that, I can get to you and totally just screw your asshole inside out and explain to you why there is so much black on black crime, you ignorant fuck. Have you heard of systematic injustice? Okay, so in the midst of that happening, they also strip us of our resources. They strip us of our wealth. They strip us of basically everything that we have of our own. And then they put us in a poverty fucking neighborhood. And while they live in their valleys, right? Right? Okay. They leave us in this poverty, shitty ass neighborhood. And they expect us to just work with what we got. And we do, don't we? Yes. But a lot of that shit is not too good. It's not that great. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're willing to drop in an 18 wheeler full of guns in a neighborhood, but then you're also willing to bitch that we never scream black on black crime or scream Black Lives Matter whenever a black person kills another black person. Are you fucking dumb? Alright, so just because your favorite news channel doesn't fucking talk about the protest that does happen on black crime does not mean that it does not happen. There's a lot of black families who are crying and mourning still to this day in regards to black on black crime. Okay? Just because it's not portrayed does not mean that it's not happening. If you're that ignorant to believe that black people are not sitting there crying and fighting whenever a black person does kill another black person, then boy, are you dumb. You're highly dumb. But even with that being said, even if that's not deep enough for you to understand, all right, let's look at another narrative, right? You strip everything from them. More than likely, if the rate keeps going the way it is, the whole black single mom is going to triple because they constantly keep killing black fathers. This has been happening for generations and years and generations. However you want to put it. It's been happening, right? Do the math. Like, just do the math. Do the fucking math. Like, do the mental work. Do the emotional work. You tell me how you would feel if you're constantly, you wake up every single day, right? You see commercials, it's white people. You see success, it's white people. They're just now starting to put the narrative out that it can be anybody. It could be anybody. It could be you. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's already too late for these kids that are in these neighborhoods. You want to change something? Change the fucking Constitution. You want to change something? Change the amendments. Make everything equal for everybody. You say we the people, but I find that as bullshit because if you think about it, we are still 3/5 of a human being in the fucking Constitution. We are property. Property is not a human being. Property doesn't have rights to do anything. Property is owned. It's owned. And if it's not owned, then it's up for grabs. Okay? Let me see if I can. Yeah, ooh, this is nice. It's up for grabs, right? Okay, so with all that being said, like, then you go outside, right? Your parent is probably dead or in jail or working their asses off to work minimum wage, and they still don't get paid the same as a white human being. You go to school in your neighborhood. Obviously, most people should know this, but poverty neighborhoods have poverty schools, poverty systems, poverty education. With that being said, it's shitty. So this person is going from a shitty home to a shitty school back to a shitty home. At what point is he supposed to make something good out of himself? When he's going to the grocery store and being stared at? There's there's going to be the people who are willing to change, and there's going to be the people who have just awesome mindsets and can get themselves out of everything and anything almost. But there's always going to be the majority. And the majority is in the poverty. Who are looking out for those people? People who like to bring up, well, there's black billionaires. Okay. There's still more white people though. Nobody has anything. Nobody. We have some good stuff to look up to. We have some people that we could be proud of, obviously. But it's not the same ratio. Like, I think we need to start pointing that out. It's not the same. Like, don't you think if black people were being treated the same as white people, don't you think that there would be a lot of the same shit going on, though? You're talking about black people steal, black people kill. You're taking all of our fucking resources. What are you expecting? And who the fuck do you think we learned this from? But what are you expecting from these people? These individuals in these neighborhoods, in these communities, in these areas. Shitty school. Strip them of their wealth. You strip their ancestors of their wealth. That boils down to whoever the fuck they are today. So if my grandmother had a restaurant in Toulouse and it was burned down, there's a small chance that she possibly could have got something else. There's even bigger chance that she ended up not getting anything else and she had to end up working for someone else. That's a setback. How can you not understand that that is a setback, and that boils down to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation? And then after all of that, you expect to call them lazy monkeys. So now you're not only tearing down their wealth and their ways to make money. You tear them down in schools. You always want to make them a fucking sports person. You always want them to be in sports and sports and sports and sports. We always push that narrative on black children. They need to be in sports. So you strip that of them. You strip their resources. You strip their parent from them. You add more law enforcement, more law officers in their neighborhoods who don't know jack shit about them, don't know jack shit about their neighborhood, literally are looking at these people as these people. Not as Brandon, Laquan over there, Miss Jackson over here, Sandra. Not looking at it as none of that. Just looking at these people as these people. Peasants. A young black man has to walk down the street thinking, he could look somebody in the eye and casually just say, how you doing? You don't know if you're going to be looked at like you're nothing, or you don't know if you're going to be looked at as, hello, I respect you. The mental work it takes just to fucking live and breathe in America as an African is horrible and tiring. And we keep trying, we keep doing everything that we can. Oh, you want to burn this down, you want to burn that down, that's cool, we can still make it, we survive. Oh, you want to bring crack in the neighborhood, okay, that's cool, we can still make it. Oh, you want to drop off guns in around these teenagers, okay, cool, but we can still make it. I don't know if you guys are running out of resources or something, but maybe you should just stop. Maybe you should just stop. Maybe then we'll be able to respect ourselves, and then maybe then you'll be able to understand boy, did we fuck up. But boy, am I glad that we are out of that predicament. Just maybe. Everybody deserves a chance. You're no one to tell me that my life is not important or not as important as yours. If that's the case, then you ain't shit. You're not gonna tell me. Fuck July 4th because it did nothing for people who look like me. And I stand so strong, so strong behind my ancestors.